The Supreme Court's conservative majority is signaling it may uphold a Tennessee law banning transition-related care for minors. During oral arguments this week, most of the Republican-elected justices did not appear to be convinced that legislation in question constitutes a form of sex discrimination and questioned whether the court should second-guess the state's decision on a medical issue.
A lot of categorical statements have been made this morning in argument and in the briefs about medical questions that seem to me to be hotly disputed. And that's a bit distressing.
My understanding is that the Constitution leaves that question to the people's representatives rather than to 9 people, none of whom is a doctor.
And joining me now is Kimberly Atkins-Stohr. She's an MSNBC News political analyst and a columnist for the Boston Globe and a co-host of #Sisters-in-Law podcast. So, Kimberly, thanks so much for being here. In your new op-ed, you call on more states to protect gender-affirming care by sending this warning, quote, "If you don't think you and yours have skin in this particular game, think again." Those are, of course, some strong words. So talk to me about how you see this issue.
Yeah, I worry after listening to the arguments, and I agree with your assessment that it looks like this ban on gender-affirming care for teens in Tennessee will be upheld, as well as 25 others like it by default. I recall when Dobbs, the decision first came out overturning Roe versus Wade, and people didn't realize in the instant what the ripple effect of that would be, and we saw it. We saw doctors stopping IVF treatments because of the uncertainty that that rule created, doctors refusing to even do some procedures that constitute reproductive health care if it could be seen as being an abortion and running afoul. We've seen women die because of that. And what I worry about with this gender-affirming care decision is that it could make doctors and legislators skittish or pass laws that could inadvertently harm not just transgender care for adolescents, which is important, but also hormonal and other treatments for everyone, whether they are trans or not. I worry about ongoing accessibility of hormone treatments that are used from everything for menopause or all the way to cancer treatments. And these aren't just things I pulled out of thin air. Attorneys for the ACLU and other advocates have flagged this in briefs in this case as a potential peril of a ruling that allows states to unilaterally, with their own legislatures, decide healthcare terms instead of letting it be between the doctors and their patients.
Yeah, and what you're talking about really is sort of who has the final say in someone's health care. And you noted in your article that this case isn't just about the decision itself, but who should ultimately make these decisions. You used the outcome of the Dobbs case, as you just talked about, when it had issues with the sort of who was making the final decisions on everything from IVF to maybe also freezing eggs. So how can the aftermath of that ruling, of this ruling, foreshadow possibly what's to come if the court decides, you know what, the Tennessee law is good, we're going to uphold it?
Yeah, and especially if other states pass more bans or if states don't pass these sort of shield laws that guarantee access to this type of care, you will see doctors the same being very skittish about performing it. They may leave states where these bans are in place, as we've seen happen after Dobbs, just because they don't feel safe making the decisions that they would normally make based on their own expertise and the desire of their patients and the needs of the patients. So you can see these healthcare deserts develop. And most importantly, the research about, as Justice Alito was talking about, the research on the impact on teens of having this care, this is relatively new areas. The research won't be allowed to develop to show that this is a safe and very rarely regretted procedure to go through. In fact, it's really important to do some of these things while someone is still an adolescent before they fully go through puberty. And if they do it afterwards, it can actually lead to an outcome that is not as preferable, and that can cause all kinds of psychological problems as well as increased discrimination from others. So you got to let this body of medicine develop, and it can't do that if it's banned everywhere.
Yeah, well, it's definitely something that we're going to keep our eye on, and definitely going to keep our eye on Justice Neil Gorsuch, who was notably quiet during this oral argument. So thank you so much, Kimberly, for all of your analysis.